everyone. It's Allison from I can't even talk today. Single Lady Lifestyle. I'm doing a little podcast on my own. I thought it might be fun to just do something a little different. And every once in a while, you'll get a podcast with just me or just Kelly or both of us. You never know what's going to happen. So welcome to November. I am recording this on the first day of November, and it is gorgeous outside. And I am downstairs in my basement, and it's, I'm going to have to get outside after this. So anyway, we're going to talk about gratitude today. And I had a little bit of a rough weekend. Like every once in a while, life catches up with us all, I think. And I had dinner with friends on Friday night, and then I had needed to work all weekend, and it was gorgeous outside. And so I got outside and took Sasha for a couple of walks and all that good stuff, but still had some anxiety and still had some stress going on. And kind of like, for the very first time in a long time, had a panic attack on Sunday, and then I couldn't sleep very well. But I ironically wrote all of these notes out for this podcast over the weekend in the middle of all that craziness. And so when I went to look at these today, I thought, wow, for someone who didn't really have her shit together, I had my shit together this weekend. So there's some good news. But I think just really today I wanted to share my gratitude journey and why it's been so important to me. And hopefully whoever's listening to this gets a little bit of benefit out of it. And you, hopefully you can relate and maybe take some of these things to your world, because sometimes life kicks us in the ass. And I really started my gratitude practice, I think it was probably right before the pandemic hit. And for those of you that don't know, I own a marketing firm, and my marketing firm grew exponentially in the first 3 years that it was open, which was amazing, but I wasn't quite sure how to handle that. And I just did the best I could. And I was very lucky that I had clients who were and still are amazing. So anything that was crazy that happened, they were right along. They were right there with me, and we figured it out together. And right before the pandemic, I had gained I realized since I'd started my business, I gained 45 pounds, and I felt sluggish, and I just didn't feel like myself. Like most of the time I'm pretty happy and excited, and I'm an extroverted introvert. I love being around people, but I love having my own space too. And right before the whole shutdown thing happened, I just there was just something wrong, and I thought, I don't know what this is. Part of me wondered, my body hurt and my head hurt all the time, and I had no energy, and I wasn't sad, but I wasn't really happy. And a very long story short, but during the pandemic, we figured out that I had some health issues going on. And later that year, discovered that I am celiac and have quite a few other food allergies that had led to inflammation in the body and me just not feeling like my best self. So once the celiac thing was sorted, then I started to feel good again. But I also looked back on, how I got there, because for a very long time, and I think we all were slightly depressed during the pandemic. I mean, it was fun for 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden you were like, oh shit. But started looking around me and realizing, okay, how lucky am I to have survived a crazy divorce, went back to school and got 2 degrees, started my own business, have people who trust me with their business, created my own home, created things that I wanted, came into my own self, in my 40s. I never had this kind of confidence in my 20s. And so once I started to kind of sit down and actually take the time to be like, wow, I fucking created a life that I'm really proud of. I'm real thankful for it too. And so I started to do some research around gratitude and learned that through gratitude and through practicing gratitude, part of it is a manifestation, right? Like part of it is you're saying, I'm very thankful for this and I appreciate this. Instead of saying, I don't have this, this is what I have over here. And once that becomes a habit, once you continue to say, I have so many amazing things in my life. I have so many people in my life. I have I don't have a mansion. I don't really want one. I don't want to clean it. And I know they say you can hire people to come in and clean, but I don't want to do that either, because finding somebody to come clean your personal space is not as glamorous as you think it is. Like, trust me, I've gone through several house cleaners over the years and I'm like, shit, this is really harder than if I just put on gloves and did it myself. So I digress, but I have created a life that I am very proud of, and I have become a person that I am very proud of. And I, for the longest time post-divorce, had no idea what that looked like. And through perseverance and love, because I have had over the years a lot of people who have loved me and believed in me. My very first clients trusted me, and I am so grateful for their trust and their loyalty and their continued support. Even when the pandemic hit, they were like, we weren't going to pull our marketing because we know you're a small business. We know you're a party of one, and we know what you do for us. And gosh, I'm grateful for that, right? Like, I don't think everybody has that. I know a lot of people have so many things to be grateful for, but I really look at my life holistically, and even in a shitty moment. In fact, that's what helped me come out of the panic attack on Sunday was, okay, you're stressed out because you have so much on your plate right now and things aren't getting done the way you want them to be done. And you just did your taxes and those were kind of crazier than you thought. And like the list goes on and on, right? And you haven't talked to another human in 2 days, which most of the time I'm fine with, but for whatever reason, this past weekend, it kind of bothered me. There are so many other things to be grateful for. And that was honestly what always seems to pull me back to my own reality. And there are so many people in this world that have more than I do. And I think that's amazing. And there are so many people in this world who don't have as much as I do. And if that's where they want to be, I think that's amazing too. I think the most important thing is, for me, when I finally made the decision during the pandemic, because during the pandemic to me is like 2 years. Like I feel like we lost a year. So, sorry, 2020, my allergies are so fucking bad today. 2020, we had the shutdown and people really didn't get back to normal social behavior. 2021, we were real hesitant, right? Like shit was still going down. And then this year has been us trying to get back to a new normal, which is like 2 years of crazy. So in 2021, I decided to go to therapy and combine that therapy with the gratitude practice. And just so everyone knows, like the gratitude practice was pretty simple. I feel like I'm kind of rambling a little bit, so I'm sorry about that. But when I realized things had to change, even before I got to an integrative medicine doctor who figured out that I had celiac, I would just write things down. Like, what did I learn today? What was good about today? What am I thankful for today? Like, what happened that was just so fucking amazing that I am so grateful for? And that's really how the practice for me started, was to, at the end of every day, laying in bed with Sashi, with my doggy, writing down those 3 things. And then I discovered a gratitude journal, and I have to give props to, I don't know if you guys follow them, but Living in Yellow. I think she does a really good job on her gratitude journals. It's a very simple journal. And I think this is like a gratuitous plug because I get no commission on this whatsoever. But I do think her new gratitude journals for next year just came out. And if you want like a good one that's really inexpensive, I think that's a great place to start if you want to start a gratitude practice. But she has literally, what are the 3 things that you're grateful for? And then a space for you to journal, which I thought was monumental because I think journaling is just as important as being thankful for even just fucking waking up in the morning. So I'd started that. And then when I went into therapy, I was lucky that the therapist that I'd found was a huge advocate of gratuity. And she did a great job of explaining how when you start to work on yourself, you start to see things differently. And even the small things are big things. And then, gradually you become very grateful for those things. And it's this very symbiotic sort of situation where now it's just normal. I wake up first thing in the morning and I'm like, oh, I woke up. That's amazing. Woke up on time, double trouble, because I'm not an early morning person. A lot of people love the mornings. I do not. And I look over and Sasha, who I'm pretty sure my dog is one of my soulmates, she just totally gets me. I look at her and immediately I'm like, oh, I'm so grateful that little shit's still here. And healthy and keeps me on my toes. And then I will immediately think of a couple other things. And sometimes the thought is like, oh shit, what is today? Oh, it's Tuesday. Okay. So I'm grateful that I'm going to go work out with my trainer today. He's going to kick my ass. That keeps me healthy, physically and mentally. And then I kind of think of, okay, what else is going on? And I'm grateful for, having a new client meeting and business still coming in and people still trust me with their livelihood, right? Because in marketing, essentially, I am a piece of their livelihood. If I screw something up, or don't do what I say I'm going to do, then that affects them directly. So very, very grateful that people still trust me with their marketing initiatives. And their business in general. So then a cup of coffee comes into play and I'll sit there for a little bit longer before I even get on the damn phone, which you gotta love the phone, but you gotta hate it too because it's like a necessary evil. And then I've looked online. There are a lot of gratitude apps. I just haven't found one that I love. I'll grab my journal, and I don't even have a gratitude specific journal anymore. It's just a quick little, let me jot a few thoughts down kind of journal, and it's on my nightstand. And so I'll have coffee and do that before I even decide to approach the world. And I'm getting better at the nighttime routine, but the nighttime routine is more, hey, how did today go? Kind of checking in with myself mentally. And then I think, what did I learn today is a piece of my gratitude strategy now. What, did I fuck anything up royally today? Could I have done something better? I'm a pretty direct communicator and sometimes things just literally fall out of my mouth. And so when I have, fewer moments that I'm embarrassed about around that, it's a pretty good day. And like I'm even on a walk, like it's been gorgeous. I love fall. Fall is my favorite season of the year. And taking Sasha on the walks this weekend and just looking around and being like, oh, the trees are beautiful and it's slightly quiet in our area. And so when you can see the sky and it's gorgeous, or you can see like, it's so ridiculously silly, but my dog, and she chases squirrels and she's like an epic squirrel hunter. Like she can see them before I even realize they're around. And the squirrels in our neighborhood are pretty bold. So there's like this squirrel / Sasha war going on right now. But but stuff like that makes you smile, and grateful that I'm smiling and laughing and appreciating those small moments, because my life could be so much worse. Like, I could have no list to have to be overwhelmed about. I could have no friends. I could have no loved. I mean, there's so many ways to look at your individual self and see things to be thankful for. And last week I was sitting down to do some work with a friend who also does some freelance work for me. And she was really struggling. And she was like, I just don't know what to be grateful for today. And I let the question fall out. That was probably too bold in that moment. I probably should have been a little more empathetic. And I was like, are you sure? And she's like, no, I know I do, but I just don't feel like it right now. And ironically, a few days later had kind of those same emotions go through. And I don't know, I feel like life is hard for all of us in some sort of context. And, there are days you get up and you kick ass and you take names, and there are days that you just don't. And whether you're self-employed or working for a company that you love/hate, whether you're single or married or divorced, a mom, a non-mom, like, it doesn't really matter. We all have that human moment of, fuck, like, this is really hard today, or this moment really stresses me out. And I'll share this tidbit. So, like, a few weeks ago, my cousin, I was supposed to meet her and her family down at the lake house, and we were going to go see, we were actually going to go see Garth Brooks, which I heard was kind of a shit show down at Big Cedar. But I'd gone and I procrastinated and took my car. I'm awful about maintaining my car, like awful. And I think maybe I was 20,000 miles over for an oil change, like embarrassingly awful at taking care of it. So I go to my mechanic and he's like, hey, did you know your tires are bald? And I was like, hey, I did not. And he goes, you're also going to need some brakes and a few other things that I don't even know. I think that it's called a rotor. I don't want to embarrass myself, but there was a lot that needed to happen in the brake tire department. And I took the damn car in for an oil change. So he's like, I can't get you in today. I really don't want you taking a long road trip in your car. And I said, well, shit, I've got plans this weekend. I really want to go do this. And one of my biggest fears, in life, is to be stranded on the side of a rural road. Like, isn't that how every horror movie starts? Is by some woman stranded on the side of the road, and then here comes fucking Jason out of the woods. So, I was like, okay, I really want to go on this trip. So I thought, okay, I could rent a car. And I'm like, well, that's ridiculously expensive. And I thought, okay, well, I can take the car and try to get it fixed somewhere else. But I had to be down at the lake at a certain time for us to do our plans on that Friday. And I stressed all day, afternoon Thursday and Friday morning. And finally, my cousin and I talked, and she was like, listen, there will be other concerts. There will be other times we can get together. I know you wanted to come this weekend, but if this is the biggest problem you have right now, she's like, you should be grateful about that. And I went, you got a point. So I don't know. I'm not trying to be preachy. I think the whole reason I wanted to do this little mini podcast and share some of this with you guys is gratitude has helped me in so many ways. Shifting my mind, shifting my focus, meditating so I understand how to control the overthinking. All of that's been so instrumental. And I feel like if we aren't being vulnerable and honest with one another and sharing things like this, then we just don't get better. We don't become better. We don't live better. We don't relax. Like, to relax is just kind of just to sit there and do nothing is something I'm still trying to learn how to do. I can't wait until I do achieve that. But anyway, I think if you're wanting to start a gratitude practice, I'm going to do a blog about this too, and obviously keep it pretty concise because I'm rambling a lot about this topic on here. If you're still listening, I appreciate it. But I think the best thing that you can do if you want to start a practice right now, or you want to learn more about how to be, grateful and practice gratuity, or not gratuity, you know what I mean? Have a gratitude practice in play. I think the first thing to do is just get a journal, and start that whole like 1, 2, 3. If you want a cute journal, buy the new Living in Yellow one, or there's some really cute ones on Amazon, and I'll probably link those in the blog. And then I might give you a couple of app options too if you're a phone person. But the whole concept is to really put that phone down and journal. I think there's actually statistics around journaling and how that's better for your mental state and how that helps you learn new habits and absorb new information. So I would recommend the handwriting. Get a fun pen. Like I always have to have cute stuff. Like I have to have my favorite pen. I have to have my favorite color around. Like I have to have all that shit. So it makes me feel better. But I would keep it very simple. And I would, my recommendation for you guys, if you're wanting to get started, is really just, okay, wake up in the morning and be like, okay, I'm fucking awake. What am I grateful for today? Am I grateful that the heat's still working? Am I grateful I have coffee? Am I grateful my dog is laying beside me and snoring? I mean, those are all things that are important to us. And when they're gone, when you don't have them, it's a big fucking deal. So start there and then check in with yourself. Like after the first couple weeks, is it a habit? Are you trying to get better at doing that daily? You probably won't do it daily in the beginning, but if you can do it sporadically and then get to a point where that is how you wake up or how you go to sleep and how you think during the day, hey, this is a real shitty moment, but fuck, I'm grateful for that. So that's the mindset. It has been very instrumental to me. That, along with therapy, along with some other nutritional lifestyle changes, like I'm down that 45 pounds. I feel better. I think we're all going to have moments of anxiety because life is hard. But this has been huge for me. And I will tell you, I love, and I'm also going to put this on the blog, but I love telling people around me how grateful I am for them and telling them how much I love them. It sometimes feels self-serving, but I just want all of my circle, and my circle is pretty small. I'm very particular about who I let in. And every year, I might miss your birthday, but you fucking know you're getting a gratitude gift. And I do it right around Thanksgiving. And I have a little note that in fact, my notes this year are pretty cute. Like spoiler alert, if anybody is listening that gets the gratitude gift from me, but I got them on Amazon and they say, you're fucking amazing. And then I'll do a little handwritten note. And then I will find just a little something, that makes me think of them. And so if you ever, I don't know how you guys feel, but just telling somebody how much they mean to you is huge, not just for them, but for you. Like to say out loud, hey, I am so happy I have you in my world. That has been, I just don't want to leave this earth and not have shared with every single person who's made my life better. And so that is another thing that I do. So you can find moments in your world to incorporate gratitude. It doesn't just have to be, what am I grateful for? But sharing that love with other people, I think, is huge. So hopefully you're still here. Hopefully my rambling hasn't turned you away. And I am going to leave it at that. If you want to share any of your gratitude stories or any of your best practices, the blog will be up probably next week. Feel free to comment on that and check it out on the website. And until next time, thank you for listening from the bottom of my heart. I have wanted to do a podcast around single lady lifestyle for quite some time, and couldn't really have gotten here without Kelly. And so even though she's not on this podcast today, I am sending her love and letting her know that because of her, I get to do a solo podcast today. And all of the listeners, like, I don't know how many of you there are, because we're trying to just focus on creating amazing content and sharing it with the world right now. But whoever's listening, I am extremely grateful for you and appreciate your time. And I want you to be as amazing as you want to be. And I just can't wait to hear from everyone one day. So if you're listening and this has been kind of a thing for you, comment in the comments, or reach out. I think we're checking our messages directly. We're not cool enough to have a marketing team. We are the marketing team. So, all right. Anyway, have an amazing day, everyone. I'm sending you lots of love.